The $80,000 travel trailer sitting on that dealer lot rolled off the factory line with roughly $18,000 of materials and labor inside it. The other $62,000 is theater, lights, carpet, a salesperson in a polo shirt, and a finance office designed to separate you from your money before you finish your coffee. Here's the thing, the recreational vehicle business is not selling you a vehicle. It is selling you an information asymmetry. They know what every screw, every panel, every appliance actually costs. You do not. And that gap is where the entire markup lives. Today we are auditing every single dollar inside that $80,000 sticker. Stop shopping like a victim and start thinking like an auditor. Stay with me to the end because the single negotiation move I share at the close can pull $10,000 off the price before you ever sit down in the finance office. Item number 1, the frame and chassis. We start where every recreational vehicle starts. The frame. This is the spine of the unit, the single most important structural component. The thing that holds your family, your gear, and 1,000 pounds of water down the highway at 70 miles an hour. You would assume the factory is pouring serious money into this part. You would be wrong. A typical travel trailer frame in the 20 to 30 foot range uses about $1,200 to $1,600 of raw steel. Add the axles, suspension components, and basic welding labor, and the entire rolling chassis costs the factory somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000. That is the number, $3 to $4 grand for the foundation of your $80,000 purchase. Now look at how it is built. The cross members are spaced wider than they should be to save steel. The welds are done at speed because the workers are paid by the unit completed, not by the hour. The frame flex you feel going over a railroad crossing is not a feature. It is a financial decision made in a boardroom in Indiana. Translation, you are buying a $150,000 house on a $4,000 foundation, and the dealer is charging you another $60,000 on top to walk you across the parking lot. The forensic teardowns coming out of independent repair shops show the same pattern over and over. Frames cracking at the rear hitch within 30,000 miles. Welds separating where the slide-out rooms meet the main chassis. Frame flex so severe that the entire bathroom floor begins to tilt. This is not an outlier. This is the baseline. And here is what makes it worse. The factory could spec a heavier gauge steel, add 2 more crossmembers, and reinforce the high stress points for roughly $600 of additional material costs. They do not do it because the marketing department does not sell frames. They sell granite countertops and electric fireplaces. So the budget goes there instead. The verdict on the frame? Held together by hope and self-tapping screws. Wait until you see what they did to the walls. Item number 2, the walls. Luan versus Asdel. The walls of your recreational vehicle are the cheapest sandwich in the entire building. Cheaper than the sandwich you bought at the highway rest stop on the way to the dealer. A standard travel trailer wall is built like this. An exterior layer of fiberglass or aluminum siding. A frame of 1 inch by 1.5 inch wooden studs. A block of polystyrene foam insulation. And then an interior wall panel. That interior panel is where the entire story lives. Most factories use a material called Luan. It is a thin sheet of pressed wood pulp, roughly 1/8 of an inch thick, glued to the inside of the wall cavity. The cost of Luan for an entire travel trailer interior runs about $120 to $180. The cost of the entire wall sandwich with siding, studs, foam, and Luan comes in around $800 to $1,200 per unit. Here's the thing about Luan. The moment water touches it, it dies. 1 leak around a roof seam, 1 cracked window seal, 1 slow drip behind the refrigerator, and the Luan swells. Delaminates from the foam and rots from the inside out. You will not see it until the wall starts to bulge. The alternative material is called Asdel. It is a fiberglass-based composite. It does not absorb water. It does not rot. It costs the factory roughly $300 more per unit to use it instead of Luan. $300. On a unit you are paying $80,000 for. Translation, the factory saved $300 by giving you a wall that turns into wet cereal the first time it rains. The brands that use Asdel advertise it loudly because they know it is the floor for any unit you would actually want to own. The brands that still use Luan bury that detail in the spec sheet, 11 pages deep, in a font you cannot read without your reading glasses. The verdict on the walls? You paid for marine grade integrity. You got a wet sponge in a fiberglass envelope. Now let us talk about what they did to the appliances. Item number 3, the appliances and the OEM discount. The appliances inside your recreational vehicle are not the same appliances you would buy at a home improvement store. They look similar, they have similar brand names on the front. The internals are a different story. The refrigerator is typically a Furrion or Dometic unit. Retail price if you walked into an appliance store and bought one yourself, roughly $1,400 to $1,800. The price the factory pays Furrion through the original equipment manufacturer channel, around $600 to $700. The stove, microwave, and range hood combination runs the factory another $400 total. The air conditioning unit on the roof, another $500 to $700. Add it all up, every appliance in the unit fully installed at the factory level costs roughly $2,000 to $2,500. That is the entire appliance package: refrigerator, stove, microwave, air conditioner, water heater, and furnace combined. Here's the thing, the dealer brochure lists each appliance separately at retail value, footnotes them as premium features, and quietly implies that you are getting $8,000 worth of kitchen and climate equipment. You are not. You are getting $2,500 worth of original equipment manufacturer hardware that is rated for lighter use than the residential version. Translation: the kitchen in your trailer costs less than the kitchen in a college dorm room, and the dealer is charging you Pottery Barn prices for it. The other ugly secret here is the warranty. The appliances inside a recreational vehicle are typically warranted by the appliance manufacturer, not the trailer manufacturer, and most carry only a 12-month coverage window. After that, every repair lands on you. The same Furrion refrigerator that fails after 18 months shows a 45% failure rate by year 4 according to independent service shop data. The verdict on the appliances? A cheaper version of a residential kitchen, marked up like it came out of a luxury catalog. And if you are finding this breakdown useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Now let us keep auditing. Item number 4, the cabinetry and the residential field marketing. Walk onto any dealer lot and listen to the pitch. They will tell you the new units have a residential feel, solid wood cabinetry, soft closed drawers, hardwood accents. It sounds expensive. It is not. The cabinetry inside a typical travel trailer is built from 3 materials: a particle board core, a thin layer of paper or vinyl wood grain laminate on the visible surfaces, and a small amount of actual wood veneer on the door fronts, if you are lucky. Total material cost for the cabinetry in an entire unit, from the kitchen to the bedroom storage, runs about $400 to $700. The hinges are stamped steel, sourced from overseas at roughly 40 cents per hinge in bulk. The drawer slides are the cheapest grade available. The countertops are a thin laminate over particle board, not stone, not solid surface, despite what the marketing language implies. Here's the thing, particle board and water have a relationship like flour and a kitchen sink. The moment moisture finds a seam, the cabinetry begins to swell, bubble, and disintegrate. You will see it first under the sink, then around the toilet base, then in the slide-out floor where the seal has failed. Translation: you pay for a kitchen that looks like it came from a custom builder. You got a cardboard box wrapped in printed plastic. The brands that use actual plywood cabinetry instead of particle board pay an additional $300 to $500 in material cost per unit. That number again, $300 to $500 separates a cabinet that lasts 10 years from a cabinet that lasts 10 months. The factory chose the cheap option every single time. And the soft close drawer slides the dealer demonstrated by gently pushing one close at the showroom, those are the same $6 slides used in entry-level apartment construction, not commercial grade, not residential grade, recreational vehicle grade, which is the lowest tier sold anywhere in North America. The verdict on the cabinetry: custom cabinet pricing, mobile home construction, the worst trade in the entire industry. Now let us talk about the people who actually built it. Item number 5, the labor at piece rate pay. This is the section that most consumer breakdowns skip. The dealer never mentions it, the brochure never references it, and the factory tour never shows you the part of the line where it matters. The recreational vehicle industry runs on a labor model called piece rate pay. Workers are not paid by the hour. They are paid by the unit completed. A team that produces 10 trailers in a day earns more than a team that produces 8. Regardless of quality, regardless of fit and finish, regardless of whether the screws actually went into the studs or only into the wall sheathing. The labor cost inside an $80,000 travel trailer comes to about $1,800 to $2,400 total. That is for the entire build: frame welding, wall assembly, plumbing, electrical, appliance installation, cabinetry hanging, and final finish. The whole thing, roughly $2,000 of human effort distributed across dozens of workers, each one incentivized to move faster, not better. Here's the thing about piece rate pay. It is the single biggest predictor of quality failures in the entire industry. The screws that miss the framing, piece rate pay. The wires that get pinched behind the cabinetry, piece rate pay. The plumbing connection that was hand tightened instead of torqued, piece rate pay. Translation: the person who built your $80,000 trailer was paid to finish it, not to finish it correctly. Speed is the bonus, quality is the casualty. There are factories in the Midwest where the average build time for a complete travel trailer is under 12 hours. 12 hours of human work inside the entire unit. The same labor budget that builds a single set of kitchen cabinets in a custom home. And the result is what you see on the lot: crooked trim, bulging wall seams, a bathroom door that does not align with its frame. None of this is accidental. All of it is mathematical. The verdict on labor: you are paying luxury prices for the cheapest assembly model in the consumer goods sector. If this is already saving you from a headache, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss what is next. Item number 6, dealer holdback and floor plan financing. Now we leave the factory and walk onto the dealer lot. This is where the markup math gets aggressive. When the dealer buys a unit from the factory, the invoice price they pay is not the price you think it is. Built into the invoice are two financial mechanisms that you, the customer, never see and never get to negotiate against: holdback and floor plan financing. Holdback is a percentage of the manufacturer suggested retail price that the factory rebates back to the dealer after the unit sells. It runs around 2 to 3% of the sticker price for most recreational vehicle brands. On an $80,000 sticker, that is roughly $1,600 to $2,400 in pure dealer profit that exists outside of the invoice you might see. Floor plan financing is the credit line the dealer uses to stock units on the lot. The factory effectively front funds the inventory through a partner bank, and the dealer pays interest on each unit until it sells. Built into the wholesale price you are negotiating against is a buffer that covers floor plan interest and rebates excess back to the dealer if the unit sells quickly. Here's the thing: when the dealer says they are giving you a discount of 30% off the sticker, they are not bleeding. They are smiling. Because between holdback, floor plan rebates, and volume incentives, the dealer is still walking away with $8,000 to $12,000 of pure margin on a unit that costs the factory $18,000 to build. Translation: the discount theater is exactly that, theater. The script was written in advance, the price was set to allow for it, and you played the role they cast you in. The smart money move here is to ace for the dealer invoice in writing and negotiate based on what the dealer actually paid the factory, not what the sticker says. Most dealers will refuse. The ones who agree are the ones worth doing business with. The verdict on holdback and floor plan: pure margin dressed up as cost. The dealer is getting paid 3 times for the same unit, and you are the one writing all 3 checks. Now we get to the fees. Item number 7, dealer prep, freight, and documentation fees. The line items on a recreational vehicle purchase agreement are an art form. They are designed to look mandatory. They are designed to look like cost. They are neither. Dealer prep is the first one. The fee, typically $800 to $1,500, covers the dealer washing the unit, filling the propane tanks, and running a basic systems check before delivery. The actual cost of this work in labor and supplies is about $150. The rest is pure profit, and here is the punchline. The factory already paid the dealer a separate prep allowance for exactly this work as part of the wholesale agreement. You are paying for the same labor twice. Freight is the second. The factory ships the unit to the dealer, and the cost of that freight, typically $1,500 to $2,500 on the invoice, is genuine. The dealer then adds a freight surcharge to your contract on top, often another $500 to $1,000. That second freight charge is not a pass-through. It is a margin line dressed up as logistics. Documentation fees are the third. Doc fees of $300 to $999 are written into the contract as administrative cost. The actual cost of generating the paperwork is roughly $15 in software and a few minutes of clerical time. The doc fee is the dealer's favorite line item because it is rarely questioned. Here's the thing, these three fees together can add $3,000 to $5,000 to your final price, and almost all of it is pure margin layered on top of margin you already paid. Translation, they sold you a trailer, then they sold you the wash, then they sold you the keys, then they sold you the pen you signed the contract with. Every one of these fees is negotiable, every single one. Doc fees can be capped or refused. Prep fees can be cut to actual costs. Second freight charges can be deleted entirely. The dealers who tell you these are non-negotiable are telling you a story they wrote for themselves. The verdict on fees? Pure profit dressed up as cost. And the worst is still ahead. Item number 8, the finance office. Ambush, you have negotiated the price. You shook the salesperson's hand. You think you are done, you are not. The finance office is where the recreational vehicle industry makes its highest margin sales of the entire transaction. And it is structured to catch you when your guard is down, your wallet is open, and the unit is already mentally yours. The first ambush is the extended warranty, marked up at roughly 300% over its actual cost to the dealer. A warranty that the dealer paid $1,200 for is sold to you for $3,500. The second is the paint and fabric protection package, typically $999. That consists of a worker spending 20 minutes applying a spray-on sealant that costs the dealer $40 in product. The third is undercoating, sold for $700 to $1,200. Actual cost? About $70 of material and an hour of unskilled labor. The fourth is the tire and wheel protection package. The fifth is gap insurance, marked up at roughly 400%. The sixth is the prepaid maintenance plan that locks you into the dealer service department at inflated rates for years. Here's the thing, the finance office is not selling you protection. The finance office is selling you peace of mind, and peace of mind carries the highest margin in the entire dealership. The finance manager is compensated on a percentage of every add-on, and the script they follow is designed to escalate from the cheapest option to the most expensive within 30 minutes of you sitting down. Translation, the salesperson sold you the trailer. The finance manager is the one paid to sell you the regret. The smart money move is straightforward. Walk into the finance office knowing that every single add-on can be purchased aftermarket for 1/3 of the price or skipped entirely without consequence. Decline all of them. Sign the contract. Walk out. The verdict on the finance office? The most profitable 10 minutes of the dealer's day, paid for entirely by your exhaustion. Let us recap the audit. Frame and chassis, $4,000. Walls and roof, $1,200. Appliances, $2,500. Cabinetry and interior, $600. Labor, $2,100. Plumbing, wiring, and miscellaneous components, $1,500. Factory overhead and a reasonable manufacturer margin, $6,100. Total true cost to produce, roughly $18,000. The dealer pays the factory somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 wholesale, then adds holdback floor plan margin, prep, freight, doc fees, and finance office add-ons until you are signing a contract for $80,000. The recreational vehicle industry is not selling you a vehicle. It is selling you a $60,000 gap between what something costs to build and what they can convince you to pay. Here's your action plan, your auditor's checklist. Number 1, ask for the dealer invoice in writing before you negotiate. The dealers who refuse are not your dealers. Number 2, target a purchase price of 20 to 25% over true factory costs. That number on an $80,000 sticker is roughly $32,000 to $35,000 out the door, fully equipped. Number 3, buy-off season. November and February are the months dealers are paying floor plan interest on units that did not sell. They will deal. Number 4, the negotiation move I promised at the start. Decline every single add-on in the finance office and ask for an itemized adjustment to the contract. That move alone can pull $10,000 off the price before you sign anything. Stop shopping like a victim and start thinking like an auditor. Let me know in the comments which markup on this list surprised you the most. And if you want to make smarter choices, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.